Hello everybody, it's Jay Brayson here with another episode of Dominions 5. So, it's now turn 37, and we've done some more research. Got Thermatology up a little bit, up to level 3, which grants us access to Panic, which could or could not come in handy, we don't really know yet. We've got Teleport for RPG, which is useful, and some stuff like Iron Will, Rage, that kind of thing, if we had any Fire Mages, that is. So, we are going to be getting Thermatology for next turn. After that, we're going to go into Evocation for a little bit. Depending on how things shake out, I guess, is going to decide whether we go into like additional construction, just for some extra bits and bobs, or we could go higher into Evocation to get Wailing Winds, Wind of Death, that kind of thing. That's probably a reasonable medium-term plan for whoever we fight next. So I guess we'll queue that one up. Once again, we haven't had any heroes appear, but so be it. We did a raid over in Giffer and took 40 gold, incredible, and pushed the unrest up to 100, which is probably more important. Over in Sfecte, we took the province. There's battle in Nern. Basically, the Jotun werewolves are still going around doing stuff until we get Mind Hunt up, which I guess will probably require Thermatology 5 to be really effective. There's not too much we can do about it, and that's just the way of it. We'll get them eventually, though. Anyway, in terms of the other battles, so in Histria we were attacked, and they ran away. I don't know how many of them survived. In Giffer we attacked. The Norner of the Future did manage to get away, which is a shame, but we killed one of their Cap-only mages and took a province over. Over in Bamot we took... basically took out the people guarding the fort. Great Woods, we lost that. That's the problems with the mammoth trees or whatever it's called in it. And just things coming and going. That's just how it's been. Over in Pythium, they didn't break the fort, break the siege rather. If they had, it would have been hazardous. But as it stands, I think they're just preaching. I'm going to move back in with these guys. We'll see how it goes. I was probably being overly cautious, but you don't want to make yourself look like a fool. They might well attack Whispering Waste next, and so be it. If so, I don't know if Jomon is going to attack into them anytime soon. I would hope they did, because we could use the help. But these dudes are being bizarrely like. So what has he? Has he got manual water breathing? Okay, and then this dude. Has he also got one? Who's with him? Where are we at? Oh, they're just Bergmeister guards. They're not even the mercenaries. Okay, of course they're not. Okay, well there you go. So they've taken Ulm over. Yeah. Hopefully Atlantis pulls it together sometime soon rather than losing. That'd be fantastic if they could do that. And we have a rapid conclusion to events in the region. Going to make sure we have something looking over the battle in Ulm for when that inevitably happens. We are going to move into this province. I'm being very choleric, but I hope this is a good idea. Basically, our Dominion's over here for one turn, probably for one turn only. And RPGs here, we have loads of troops around. The guys that are going in should have enough, in theory, siege power to very plausibly break the province open in one turn. In fact, I might bring Griff as well. And so, my thoughts are, go in there and see if we can win. We're going to be moving in about 100 odd, maybe 120, 130 cavalry. Those guys are going to be able to deal with the Scythe Kona, Jotun Wolves, probably the Garm Hidlinger as well. The issue is going to be more with the Pretender God himself casting Foul Vapours. Now, I do have a plan for that. So my plan for that is for this guy to cast Strength of Gaia, then Howl, which is going to mean we get Howl up on about turn 2, regeneration, then retreat. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because you don't really want to Howl up for any more than about 10 turns when you're fighting a super combatant, because they're just going to get in the way of stuff that can actually do any damage. So the basic idea is get Howl up, beat the shit out of some of his Scythecona and so on at the back, potentially distract some crossbow fire, although our guys should be getting there relatively quickly, and then get him off the field. There are tons of provinces to retreat to. We are launching an attack in a magic phase on this province, so potentially we can cut off any reinforcements that way as well, and sort of see where we go from there. It's also possible that he just moves out and moves into Beaumont from this province, and so be it. If so, we can take it out and then just have another province to chill in. I'm gonna get another couple of barbarian heavy horse in this province. We finally have a fort up here. We have some guys who are just going to be knocking about in here. We are building a fortress, so basically just taking steps to prepare. If this battle goes well, potentially we can clear all of this garbage out and take the enemy's PG out. I have Madame Fortuna going in, casting Spirit Curse, so that if he's patrolling with the wolf, we can plausibly curse it for an additional chance of afflictions, and yeah, fingers crossed it all goes well. I might have this guy bring in some additional nature gems since he's sneaking in, a couple of additional fire gems for the Pretender God, and in fact I will get a mounted scout here rather than additional troops, and then the mounted scout can bring over some additional stuff. He's got 12 hit points, so he's a bit more resilient than an actual scout. We are recruiting William's boys to potentially help out with the siege over in here. Depending on what breaks the siege, it's very plausibly going to be this young werewolf. We may or may not be successful with that. This guy, I mean, these guys should probably just guard commander. We're summoning Lamashtas here to potentially kill off the young werewolf. So this dude is armed with, let's have a see, Frostbrand and Vine Shield. If he gets hit by Lamashtas, they potentially just kill him, so that'd be good. The enemy's dom is like not super strong relative to ours, so we should in theory be able to start pushing quite heavily, because we have just tremendous amounts of temples behind us. We have a lot of priests going in here as well, so that we can preach, as well as it just being useful for countering Horde of Skeletons spam. And because our Pretenders are going in, they'll all be blessed with poison resistance as well straight away. So our PR bless is +10. We're going to be casting some poison ward on top of that, so we are absolutely bound to lose some stuff to foul vapors, but given that our plan kind of specifically accounts for that, and how we're going to deal with his Pretender God after the wolves and so on are gone, I think we're being pretty reasonable here. Hopefully Atlantis can get their stuff together. Plausibly we're going to see an attack on Utgard by Pangaea as well, and we'll just see how it all goes from there. Casting Haruspex with this guy just to try and do some additional site searching. Our end income's pretty healthy. Obviously it's better when we have this province. Who knows how long Pythium's going to last, but yeah, so this is our main plan this turn. This could be like disastrous, but I think it should be okay, and it's certainly going to be helping to prevent him from receiving reinforcements in here without using Gateway, which I don't know how much he's going to be able to do with that. He's got one Norna with S4 rather, sorry, I don't know where W came from, S4 over here, the Norna of the future, but she's not with a whole bunch of guys, so she's not going to be gatewaying in a bunch of stuff. So yeah, over here our Prophet died, and so did the Eternal Knights, but they took out some Garm Hindlier, and this is, considering this is in like Dom Strength -7, which I didn't even realise it was that bad before. I feel they did alright. They did alright. Anyway, have a good rest of your day, and take care. Goodbye. Hello everyone. 1038's audio was not working properly, so I've redone it. The basic events of the turn is that we had 31 minutes to do it. It was not actually very dissimilar from the turn before in that respect. But we managed to spend, or I managed to spend, what's the point? a whole bunch of time over-explaining things and being weirdly negative, which was not very helpful or compelling to watch. So the events of the turn were really that Pythian broke with a small force, which died. We got attacked all over the place by Utgard, so they took a couple of provinces, we lost a couple of provinces, but I think we take them back next turn. And the enemy pretender god Rapapa was inside the fort, and they were claiming the throne, which was somewhat what we expected, but also somewhat not. So the action we then took, after kind of reading through all that stuff, was very slowly to move everyone back to forts adjoining Erythia, which is the province where the enemy's pretender god is, tooling them up with black bows of Batolf, which we forged a whole bunch of using our ancestor smiths, and then we did some mercs and basically decided to go back into the provinces a turn after. The reason I was making black bows of Batolf was to try and feeble-mind the enemy's pretender god, because the dominion on Erythia had gone from 1 Arcandle to 4 theirs, due to having been claimed, having the enemy pretender god there, and presumably some preaching as well from some of their commanders. So I'm going to leave that there because there wasn't really all that much, pyrotechnical about the turn. And yeah, see you in turn 39. Cheers, goodbye. Hello everybody, we've got 17 minutes to go until our turn has to be in, so let's pull things together, shall we? There's a dire portent. The dire portent is that Atlantis has put up vengeful waters. That is dire indeed. There's a battle in Thingwoods, or Tingwoods, still not really sure which. Anyway, a Tree Lord was summoned there, which is a remote summon that appears during the magic phase. Now we're anticipating fighting a Scratty who ended up going to Helmshire, but instead Heartbud the Tree Lord showed up. So he defeated some lads, so that was inconvenient. We lost 3 mages actually in total. Anyway, the reason I'm running this on is to show you guys what a Mashter is and looks like, and why they would be useful against Scratia, because I don't think I really substantially explained that. So they got a length 3, attack 15 weapon, they got fear, which was nice, and vulnerability 20, not really relevant versus Scratia. But the main thing is that they're ethereal flyers with a really strong slashing weapon. So the reason that's important, and they're also size 4, the reason that's important is because this basically makes them a really good way to break through shields, through vine shields on Scratia. And after a vine shield's gone on most Scratia, if not all of them, they're basically dead meat. So that's what that's about. Anyway, we lost a bunch of mages, tragic. Actually, that ancestor guide got away. So we lost 2. That's a shame. Here he is. Good job, dude. Good job in getting away at least. But yeah, he didn't summon any Lamashter, so that party's sort of over. Over here, I guess we probably better recruit a regular commander. Might be worth doing here as well. Don't know, maybe not. Maybe we'll just press X and leave things as they were. Monarch Woods, for some reason we're searching it. I don't know if a second Tree Lord is going to hit the tower, but you don't know. But it's plausible, because they do have massive amounts of nature gems over in Utgard, so wouldn't say anything's off the table. Anyway, Red Pepper is up to 7 Dominion strength, so we really don't want to be fighting in there. Obviously they've broken back the siege, so we can anticipate a fight there next turn. A Jotun Werewolf and a Scythe Kona went to fight off the Blackhawks. The Scythe Kona died, which is pretty good. That's probably the single best outcome we could really imagine getting. We killed a Jotun Werewolf over here. I forget if this involved a Scythe Kona or just him getting hit and dying. Either's quite plausible. Let's see. Okay, just gets hit and dies. So there you go. RIP. Hopefully Bissy is moving in this turn. Everyone has been... It's been suggested to everyone, at least, that we really need to deal with Utgard, because this is hazardous, so we don't want to be fighting all that stuff. This guy is going to be going to... What fort in here? Got Scratis and werewolves. Let's go into here with all of this stuff. He can also go into that province. You can come with some Wukong. Let's do something less pitiable than that for starters. Let's go for aim first of all, and then after that we'll do a couple of Lamashers. The reason we are putting it off for a turn is to see what shows up and see what moves. This guy can move his gems back into the stash. Everyone's patrolling in here. That's probably a good idea actually, just for in case anything mad happens around here. Any other trees that the guy summons are going to be weak to fire. In fact, this guy is as well, over here. They can mitigate that somewhat by using elemental fortitude, which they do automatically as one of the things they'll cast. But nevertheless, all additional sources of damage are valuable, basically. Might build this up into a castle, I'm not sure. It's kind of useful when the amount of supplies in the provinces is relatively low for any besieging force, especially when they're giants. The alternative is we just wait around in there. I've equipped most of the planned... That will give this guy Vanquisher a bow as well. And this dude here. Equip the relevant guys with bows. Might just give them all fire large monsters, so that's F and then capital M. So I'm in that order 4. And might as well move them a little bit forwards. The reason for this is of course that we just want to tag the enemy pretender and hit him with Feeble Mind, because that would be really, really great for us. This guy can hold those. And is there only one more spare? No, there isn't. We'll have this guy here. I wonder when these guys lost their fear, because that used to be one of the useful things about a Khan. Anyway, never mind. Orivard can go over to Mpito Cliffs. We can keep searching with Voice of Apsu over in these provinces. Can we target Old Flood? No, we can't. Okay. Let's go for the Hidden Realm, I suppose. Or Glade Woods. Let's go Glade Woods. It's not impossible that there's a higher level water site. If you know differently and it was impossible, by all means tell me in the comments. But I don't think that is the case. Right. What else do we need to do this turn? So we have 11 entire minutes to come up with a plan to deal with this. Now, if we go into here, the enemy pretender god is going to have like literally 400 or so hit points, which is an issue. But if we don't, then the enemy is going to effectively have infinite hit points because we aren't doing anything to fight them. So that's that downside. So we need to think about how we best go about dealing with the enemy. Evocation will eventually get us there, but of course that's I don't know, it's a tricky one, isn't it? It's a tricky one. How much up have you got? 376. Okay, so do we have any cold resist gear? Because I have a feeling that the enemy is going to put up a frost dome in that province. Well, I know I would if I was them. Because the temptation is to do stuff like casting pardon me, Vengeance of the Dead on them, which is pretty effective if it goes off, but it's a range targeted spell, so it's the kind of thing that's quite easy to counter. Let's go for it. Why not? Let's make spell focus for our Pretender God. We also are going to want some... See, the problem with all this stuff is it's going to cost absolute scads of gems. We've just burned a ton of death gems on feeble-minding bows of questionable utility. We've got Rune Smasher, we have, but we haven't got any gems for it, of course. We definitely need a poison ring. So we'll get... I don't know, is it a poison ring we really want to make, or is it a serpent Chris? I don't know. Astral serpent, rather. Hard to say. We'll get that guy researching. Get this guy just making his snake ring at the end of the day. It's 30 poison res. Pretty hard to argue with. Marvang. Let's see if we've got any guys who can make some useful gear right now. Lightning rod is always useful. Get lightning rod for a Pretender God. Is an order in there? It is. We don't have Evo 3 yet, do we? No. Okay, so I was going to cast Fires from Afar on them, but since we don't have Evo 3, there's no real point in doing so. Liu Bei, I forget how strong Celestial Hounds are. I don't think they're particularly strong, so they're not going to be a terribly effective way to deal with the enemy's stuff. I don't know though. We kind of need to think of a way. Maybe I partly wish we'd gotten into this problem as well, because we'd be able to cut down our gems on concentration spells a little bit. But at the same time, I was thinking that was the most obvious place the enemy would potentially attack. So that's probably what that's about. And also probably about trying to project our Dominion a little bit further into Niflheim, because their Dominion is very, very dangerous to be in, due to their increased hit points inside it. Okay, that guy has to die to Vengeance of the Dead, I think. So let's go for it. Fingers crossed it penetrates, and then he will be killed by our troops, if so. Well, not by our troops, by his dreams, in fact, if so. Shun. I guess we can move in there and cast some... Let's see what his gems are. Or not gems, what his gear is. Firebrand, okay. Frostbrand, rather, and Shroud. Let's go for... Do you have Armour of Achilles? Yeah. 15 range though. Let's go Strength of Gaia and Shrink. And have these guys go Commander. Have these guys way in the back, hold and attack rear. And we'll see if we can't shrink this guy and beat him up. I think that is reasonably plausible as a plan, because as soon as he gets to size 3, he's going to be much easier to fight, because he'll lose the additional weapon length from being size 4, which means he can no longer repel in addition to, or no longer repel falchions, rather, in addition to just having really high base stats. Hopefully German's going to attack into Utgard instead of me. That'd be really inconvenient if they attack into me instead. And I don't think we're going to make too much progress with this turn. We're researching over here. That's probably is genuinely the best thing we can do with our time. And sadly, none of our heroes have arrived yet. Also, a bunch of people died, so that's sort of good / bad. We'll get some Ancestor Smiths out, because they're always useful. We will get some Spirit Masters out in our capital and also in this province over here. Okay, cool. And one over there as well. Alright, I think that's pretty much me done. Thanks very much for watching. Fingers crossed there aren't like 50 guys that we're waiting on moving. Suspect maybe there are. Oh, there's so many wolves in here that it's going to just produce unbelievable levels of XP for those panic troops, which is a bit of an issue. But I guess nothing too bad. Rot flesh can just wait. I don't know if Atlanta's going to attack me in response to losing some provinces from, or to rather, Utgard, but that wouldn't be completely crazy of them. It would just be, again, inconvenient to me personally, so I sort of hope they don't. Yeah, we'll leave that there, leave him there. We took this province over here, so that's some, 200 extra income that we could have been enjoying for a while, so that's all good. I will forge with our crappiest mage that we have. It's a water mage. We don't really have any particularly terrible ones, so I'll have to use Lubé. Forge a water breathing ring, because actually we don't need to do it this turn, so, or if we do we can use that guy. There we go, job's a good one. Not too much else to say. We are probably going to be spending some of these air gems relatively soon on conjuration stuff, but until then, well, we're just not. Thank you very much for watching. Been Jay Brayton, and goodbye. I think we'll call that. I don't know though. We'll keep Madame Fortuna. There we go. Alright, take care. Cheers.